group that I'm working with at the moment, as part of our process is developing skills as a speaker and an author, much has come up around past stories,
yes,
pulling stories together,
yes,
seeing that interconnectedness. And on the 10th of the 10th, 2010, I collaborated with another group of people around the world, 17 of us,
yes,
on a book on
yes,
collaboration,
yes,
as a way of moving forward. Extraordinary input from these people, each sharing their different perspective, and even just the process and the degree to which we became interconnected. And while there's not been a tool to bring us forward together, there is that loose arrangement now.
And it's almost like you and I, we're sort of intuitively knowing this is the way to go, and that, you know, this process that we're engaging in now is going to be a collaborative process, because it's so much richer. It provides so much more wisdom and joy to have input from everybody, because that's what we want, isn't it?
Yes.
We want everybody to, and the people, and there is a deep intuitive knowing about this. Is why I think we have, this is knowledge that we have within us as well, and it's just we've had to put to the side in many ways, which actually makes it a lot easier, because it doesn't mean you have to reinvent it. We have to be there. So well, that's good. I'm going to just stop for one moment. I'm going to do a bit of, just check that it is turned on. Is that all right? I have the back of my mind. It's all right, I can edit that. Yeah, no, that it is good. That's good. So I'll edit that bit as well. So wait a minute. No, I think that's happening. Yeah, I can't see it. Fantastic. Okay, that's good. So I can click on that one as well. Have you done those interviews where the things haven't been said? Yeah, I've done these radio interviews. I've done whole interviews at the end, and then the worst thing is that at the end of it they say, "Oh, we didn't get that last 10 minutes. Could you just repeat it?" And of course, you're not in the mode. You haven't. You've lost your thread completely, and you struggle to do that, and you end eventually it just is rubbish. It really is, because you desperately try. What did I say? Rather than, isn't it? Have you know? Yeah, being like that. Yeah. Anyway,
with you just saying that, on the my radio program now, I am noticing I don't need to do any work to actually source or find guests for the radio.
No.
People are finding me from Western Australia, South Australia, America. I've had a lot of interest from America. So it's really interesting how I think intention influences all of this.
Yes.
To come from the heart, create something. As you know, on the radio program, we draw at random a virtue. Yeah. And that virtue flavours the whole thing, and I think then the whole intention behind the program is that energy that filters out.
And it comes out of the moment, it comes out of spontaneity, and it comes out of joy, because those things are all connected. But it doesn't mean you're not smart. Did you know that? You are very smart as well. It doesn't come at the extent of being woolly-headed, which has often been the accusation of when we're talking like this. You know, somehow I wrote this, they've lost it there. In some ways, you know, they're away with the fairies, which isn't a bad place to be, I think. But the new consciousness is an integration. You know, it honours rationality as it honours the heart. You know, I always say that we feel first, and probably one of the sessions that I'm going to do, one of the videos is going to be about feelings, the science of feelings. Right? It's almost like that seems to be an oxymoron, doesn't it? Well, you know, it's the science of feelings. You know, feelings aren't scientific. Well, everything's scientific. You know, scientific just means knowledge. But understanding that we feel first, and then, I mean, if you meet somebody and you're lucky enough to fall in love or love them, and you say to that person, you know, darling, I think I love you. Yeah, she'll say, or he. Or if you say, you know, I feel just wonderful when I'm with you. You know, which one? You know, I love you. but you know, which one works better? I don't know. You know, in other words,
I think I love you is actually okay.
Yeah, it is. It's better than nothing, which often happens.
You know, it's tentative.
Yeah.
It's tentative, but it's also a decoration.
Yeah, I think I love you. Yeah. Or I think I love you. That doesn't work quite so well. I think I love you.
There's one thing I'm not.
But if we want to go on holiday, we plan a holiday. We wake up in the mornings and feel we want to go on, and then we work out how to, you know, go into the internet or the travel agent and sort out our schedule and how we can and can't afford it and everything. So we engage brain, but we really start with a feeling as well.
Yeah.
And when we have a vacation, for instance, we feel that deeply, and then we work out how to build our lives around it as well. So feelings have not been explored enough in our work and my work as a doctor, and yet the silly thing is we call them symptoms. We try to medicalise them, you know, and so symptoms are our feelings, and we always look at those first. And so if we start listening to them, these feelings, interesting, people get better just by listening. You know that.
Yeah. One of the questions Patch Adams has been asking for about 20 years, as far as I know, is what's your love strategy? And he asked me that on the bus when we toured. And my response was, I've got a marketing plan, does that count? He said, no, not at all. And invited me to go home and write about it. And so I didn't know what a love strategy was at that point, and perhaps I don't fully still now, but I was up for it. So to go to something and not know, experience some flow, get access to something you think you haven't got access to. And I sent back 2,500 words on what I thought my love strategy was, and he wrote back and he said, bravo, well done. For the first time somebody has replied, and it just blew me away that all those years, all those times of asking the question, and no one had replied, no one had responded. So I ask the question now as well, as part of my presentations and the work I do, to be inviting the thinking. For we've got a strategy for everything else, but not for that.
So there you are, you're engaging your head and heart into that, right? And actually that engagement gives you awareness and probably provides the answer. And the question opens you up, the question does. Those questions are important. Listening, listening to yourself, getting Patch to listen to you. Job mostly done.
Yes, indeed.
No probes and brains or anything like that, or little micro robots, or So that's the process, and I think awareness does. And I'm sure that by spreading this understanding, which we decide is probably innate in people, their solutions will come. I know that. But more than that, I think just by the process they're coming as well. Just by asking the questions, you know. And then just looking around, and I'm interested in, say, fractals and geometries that shows that we're all linked, you know, in our very basic, you can say, mathematical way or form, and we see it everywhere, whether it's, you know, insiders and outsiders. So just by showing those pictures, there's aha, and maybe there's some healing as well. You know, hey, you know, I'm not separate from that coastline. I'm not separate from that those planets out there, you know, revolve around other suns like ours. So, you know, I'm not separate from this person in front of me, you know, and the more we chip away at that, the more healing of those separations, those imprints of wars and desperate times that we have in our bodies, I think can be erased.